Star Patterson. I am the mother of Brayden Cole Adams, who contracted Meningococcal Meningitis on Thanksgiving Day.
How old is your son?
3 years and 2 months. He was 2 years, 9 months when he contracted.
What were the signs that made you know that something was going on differently than just being sick?
He had a really, really high fever and had bad diarrhea and got very lethargic. But at first they thought it was where he had been beaten, but it was actually the purple rash where the blood had spilled out on his face. He went into septic shock 7 minutes after getting to Mercy Hospital. And then they gave them a tap and found out that it was meningococcal.
So how long after you noticed the first signs of him being sick was it before you took him to the ER?
He was foaming at the mouth, bleeding at the mouth, had a seizure. So that was 2 hours later. His fever didn't break till 36 hours after he was on the antibiotics.
So they went directly to thinking that it was that.
Once they got the spinal back. I was told that he had a rash, and I was thinking regular eczema rash or red bump rash. So when I first saw him, I didn't know what to expect, of course. It was this purple. It looked like he had been beaten just all over his face. It was black from the top of his left hip all the way down and behind his left knee, and black splotches, black purple splotches all over his arms. I mean, he looked dead. Dr. Kaliki, he told me that they didn't expect him to make it and that they could try a procedure called plasmapheresis on Brayden, and that they normally didn't do that. And I believe that was the key factor at saving his extremities. It's where they take the blood out, filter it, and they give him donated plasma.
Did they offer you any other options?
No, that was last resort because they had tried everything. They were bagging him when I got there, and I remember there being 14 nurses in there and doctors helping him breathe. He said that he had thrown his hands up and calling the resident to ask him and tell him that he'd done everything, and they started it that night for 5 days.
And you said you started seeing a difference. How quickly?
Within 48 hours, he was breathing on his own. I planned on immunizing when my boys turned 5. His immune system was able to fight back like it did because of not being immunized. The doctor came down to me pretty hard and he said, "Don't you know what you're doing? That this is what happens when you don't immunize." After learning about this, it's in 20% of the United States are carriers for this. It lives in the nose and in the throat. And Brayden contracted it in 3 minutes time. That after it leaves the host, it's only alive for 3 minutes. 2 days later, whenever Brayden was coming out, the very same doctor said, "It's very impressive the way your son is fighting back. Like, we didn't expect him to live through the weekend." They started putting a nitro cream on the on the purple rash. It ate into his left thigh. All the other splotches on his arms and stuff were like probably second-degree burns. We were there 28 days, and I'd say 18 days of that was in the rehabilitation. And then he had to learn how to walk and eat, talk, all of it all over again. They started out slowly. He had to build his strength back up to even stand. Rehabilitation nurses and doctors, they came in and worked with them twice a day, just bouncing balls and throwing little things, to walk by a tricycle, just real slow. And they started doing dressing changes where they wrapped his arms and legs with the nitro cream twice a day. And then once it started peeling, they did where they have to scrub it. 15 days after being in there, going in and scraping it. The worst part was taking the dressings off. It was when they would unwrap the gauze. It would pull on his good skin, and then also his leg was so tight. From what he could tell me, he said it was tight. It hurt him to walk. The skin graft where they got the donor site was the most painful for him. He had skin graft on the left leg and a small part on the right leg. It was from his right thigh.
And how is his healing now?
Other than discoloration, it's still very sensitive, almost dry. You can still see like the graft. of it, but it's completely healed up now.
Once you found out that he had meningitis, what was it that you heard that the outcomes of this specific disease would be possibly for your son?
Amputation, significant brain damage.
Could you introduce us to him?
Yes, this is Brayden Cole Adams. Say hi.
Hi. Hello. That's going on. Uh-oh. Bye.
5 months after he first contracted meningococcal, he is walking and talking and running and playing.
Now that you're on the other end of the disease, is there anything that you would like to share with others?
Don't be kissing on your babies. Wash your hands a lot. It only takes 3 minutes time. 3 minutes for a bacteria like this to attack. Washing your hands for 2 minutes can help prevent that.